Hello everybody, welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today we're going to do a deck live. Why, you ask? Because I had thought I had scheduled a video for this morning and I didn't. And since I don't script or edit or anything, there's not a whole lot different than me just recording and uploading and just doing this one live to, save it. So today we are looking at Mathas the Fiend Seeker. Red, white, black vampires. Yep, you're exactly right, Smash Project. 3/3 menace. At the beginning of your end step, you put a bounty counter. Now, I'm not even going to finish reading that, as there's only 2 cards that really deal with bounty counters in specific. So, I didn't really lean into the bounty counter thing. Yeah, there are other ways that you could do proliferate and weird counters and stuff like that. But you know what? In this last collection that I got, there was an intense amount of vampire stuff. So, let's do some vampire stuff. Before we get into the vampires proper, let's talk about Door of Destinies. I like Door of Destinies. Thank you, Smash. I try, because underrated cards are, I mean, nobody sees them coming. But Door of Destinies, I've talked about it earlier. It is a wonderful card for a tribe with a kind of a higher CMC. Elves or goblins or whatever. I guess kobolds are being a thing now. But you tend to play all those out before you get the 4-man to play the door. So vampires kind of straddle that middle. The door is great for dinosaurs, angels, whatever. But picked up another Blade of the Blood Chief, which is always awesome. A Bloodline Pretender, just because I like that. I don't know. And Kindred Boon. Now, the thing about divinity counters is, as a game rule, divinity counters grant indestructible. So, yeah, it's, I mean, you set it on vampires and then you just don't worry anymore. All right, so let's look at our mana production, shall we? Of course, we're going to start off with a Soul Ring. Just a minute about the Dark Ritual, though, because this deck is primarily black, obviously, because we had vampires in black for so many years. The Innistrad block, they branched out into red, and the Ixalan block, they branched out into white, but there's just not as many in any other color, But, so I figure the Dark Ritual is an easy play to call. It's so heavy black that I've only got 3 mountains and 3 plains in the entire deck. There's a lot of duels. I don't really have a problem casting stuff, but anyway, we have Arcane Signet, Rakdos Signet, Orzhov Signet. Now, the Pillar of Origins I really like. It can sometimes kind of screw you, because you're going to want to cast something else. Spectral Searchlight. I still like this idea of the political, here, I'm going to, I'll give you that extra mana you need if you don't attack me or whatever, just the political aspect. And then, of course, we have Bonder's Ornament, which is not the most efficient mana or the most efficient card draw, but there's something about it. I've never been sad to see it when I draw it. I've drawn a lot of cards with these things, and every time my opponents look, and they're like, I'm going to start putting Bonder's Ornament in my deck, because it's literally never drawn an opponent of cards. Leads into Sign of Blood. So let's look at our vampires. Oh, this is okay. In a sheer happenstance, all of these are in mana cost order, mana value order. Viserys Seer, just a great sack outlet if you should need it. Pulse Tracker, I love this. Each opponent loses 1 life. So, I mean, if you draw the aggro hand, you get out there and you're attacking everybody. Stromkirk Noble's a great 1-drop in red. I love the vampire feel of the combat damage. You get a counter. It's a, the Innistrad kind of brought that to us. Before, vampires had to kill a creature to get the counter. Now they just got to hit a player. The Vicious Conquistador. Here again, each opponent loses 1 life. This is an amazing. Child of Night. I don't know why. It's Canada Day? Heck yeah. That's why we're doing it. I don't know why I like Child of Night. I do. There are, umpteen better vampires for that slot. Legion Lieutenant. I love that they started doing the champion, quote unquote, things at uncommon. I love it. The Callista Highborn's good. Here, we're just going to roll through some of these. The Rakish Air. These are in here because they are good vampires. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Mavrin Fane, Dusk Apostle. Vampire that creates more vampires seems good. The Stormkirk Captain, again, another champion. Dark Imposter. I love, yes, this particular repeatable removal is expensive at 6 mana. But it's repeatable removal. It's exile. I mean, you don't have to worry about the thing coming back from it's gone, okay? Captivating Vampire, the vampire addition to the top 5 tribe members thing. Pull this back. Oh. My camera's all weird because, it's doing the invert thing because I'm live. The Vampire Nighthawks, I love this card. Flying, Death Touch, Lifelink, 3 mana, 2/3. Okay. Yeah, I know I missed the 2 mana non-flying one, but I missed the 2 mana non-flying one. There's no other way to. Bold Pleasure is going to try this. Put the same number and kind of counters on this. It's kind of neat. Bold Tracker. Getting in the Wayback Machine for Krovac the Cursed. It counts as a vampire. We all know what that means. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm a dad. You can't help it. It's hard to play vampires without the +1/+1 counter theme creeping in there. Yes, there are, Ozolith. What's the white enchantment doubling season? You know what I'm talking about. I can't remember if Baron Singir is in here or not. We'll have to wait, see till we get Falkenrath Noble. That tells me I was talking too much. No Irene, because I think we've already passed, or we're in the 4 mana slot now, aren't we? Yeah, there's no Irene. I don't think I have any original Homelands vampires in here, but another creature dies. Target player I like a little bit less than all players, but then we have Bishop of Binding. Just a great card. Sanctum Seer. Now, here was my huge dilemma with Vampire Nocturnus. This is a 3-color deck, and this is a vampire that relies on one specific color. And already, the odds are, even if you're playing in a mono black deck, Vampire Nocturnus is not always on because your lands or artifacts are colorless. So, I just, I put the Nocturnus in because it was just flavor. That's the reason. If it hits, it hits. You feel like, the Vampire King of the world. Sangromancer. Yeah. Creature dies. Yep. Gain 3. Have the new art Singir Vampire. Mainly because I have been hardcore sorting cards, and this was the one that was in front of me at the time, not the original art, but I don't have used the 10th edition art yet. Falkenrath Marauders. Now this one I like. It gets 2 counters on it. Radiant Epicure. Now this is a new one from MH2. X is the number of colors a mana spent to cast the spell. I figured, 3-color deck, that's probably not bad. We have some any color lands, so we can conceivably make all 5. Champion of the Dusk, where X is the number of vampires you control. I'm not scared. Yes, I don't know about Vampire Ruler of Everything. He's coming. Malakir Blood Witch is an insane card for your just a straight vampire deck, right? Bloodline Necromancer, just getting one back. Drana. Anawan is a beating, man. I am telling you what. When all you have is vampires, it doesn't apply to you, but everybody else, is sacking a creature to the abyss. Sure. Necropolis Regent. Yeah. Deals combat damage to a player, put that many counters on it. So this is going to work well with those Stromgald vampires that get the counters anyway. They're just going to get tons of counters. Speaking of tons of counters, Thief of Blood will take all the counters. All of them. Yeah. Manipulates time. I did not know that. I was thinking Uncle Edgar was, he's a big vampire. I was in the colors. I had an extra copy of Edgar, and I was like, you know what? This is probably where he needs to be. Trying out this new Vengeant Vampire and the Vein Drinker. I felt like I had to have a Sorin Lord of Innistrad. He's the Vampire Walker. When this card came out, what was that? Dark Ascension, I believe, was the first copy. I absolutely could not wrap my mind around how cool it was to be able to get multiple of the same emblem. It just, as soon as a light flicked off in my head and I went, Heirloom Blade, it was kind of made for the deck, right? Blood Tribute, because that, you want to talk about a life swing. They lose half, you tap a vampire to gain that much? That is, has access to black. Dead to the Deathless is just as much it's just a finisher spell. It's one of the best finisher spells in white-black, right? So let's look at our removal. Now, I had to run Avona's Hunger, right? Because, I didn't have Avona to run, so. But white, black, and red tend to give us some pretty decent removal, We have Terminate and Mortify and Rip Apart. Unmake. Now, yes, there are a lot. If you've got your Sword to Plowshare and Path to Exile, stuff like that, I got to run Disenchant, because how many times have we lost to that one enchantment that you can't deal with? Somebody takes an Omniscience and you just look at your hand and you're like, well, time for the next game. Go for the Throat. Urge to Feed is a pure flavor call. I had to do it. Merciless Eviction. I just love the menu here. What's the problem right now? So that's what I'm going to solve. And then our last non-land card, Red Elemental Blast. Because you know what? Blue's a thing. Cyclonic Rift is a thing. And that is a problem for any, creature-based strategy is, your bounce of God, if you will, be it Cyclonic Rift. Not many people run Evacuation or Whelming Wave, stuff like that. But it all, Red Elemental Blast. Or I like the destroys a blue card in play. So let's look at our non-basic land, shall we? There is a ton here. We're going to start with push that down, there's air in them. The Command Tower Exotic Orchard, and Nomad Outpost. Those are, you know, kind of the any colors. I wanted some more any color lands, so I went. Path of Ancestry is, you know, it's a pretty decent card, especially for a tribal, but I wanted it bad running a Rupture Spire. But the beautiful, y'all remember that Vampire Nocturnus? Well, the Terramorphic Expanse, the Evolving Wilds help that out tremendously to be able to, if you've got the Nocturnus out, the top card is not black. You got another free roll here for popping the Wilds or the Expanse. You know, I'm running the Rogue's Passage because it's me, and I think the Rogue's Passage is the only land in the. I almost didn't put it in because of just the huge 3-color requirements of the deck. Now we're going to look at just run-of-the-mill 2-color lands, it looks like. No real all-stars here, although I am really, really digging these artifact duels, the indestructible. What do y'all think about them? I have been using them because, quite frankly, some of these color pairs just don't have enough. And even, I mean, I've had to resort to comes into play tap lands a long time ago. I use dang near every one you're about to see is going to be a comes into play tap land. But it's, these are not bad. The indestructible kind of makes me want to do something with, what's the Run with Scissors cards? You know, it turns into a 5/5, whatever. But Boros Garrison, Rakdos Carnarum, Alchem Refuge, Rakdos Guildgate, Stone Quarry, Windscarred Crag, Temple of Silence, Scoured Barrens, another artifact duel, Goldmire Bridge, Orzhov Basilica, the Boros and Orzhov Guildgates. Let's see. So that is it for the actual deck proper. So we will get this thing in the box and get it on the wall. Hadn't done a live deck tech in quite some time. So let's go put it on the wall. Number 726 on the wall. There we go. Well, I appreciate it. In Soul Artifact, that's it. That's the ticket. I do appreciate everybody watching. Either if it's now, while we're live, or later on. You know, thank y'all so much. It's good to know that you're not just shouting into the void. But I've got 4 decks already done, ready to record. So as soon as I end this live, I'm just going to keep recording those. And so we'll get back on the MH2 train. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. The next 4 are all MH2. So what do y'all, question for you? I tweeted Gavin Verhey this morning and I asked him, I said, I've ordered 20 deck boxes for Adventures of the Forgotten Realms. Is that enough? I want it to be, but I just don't think it is. Because there are 4 commander decks that come along with it, right? And if I remember right, each one of those have like hero and villain, or hero and monster, whatever. So I don't know if so that's 8 right there. Plus we've already seen what, 10 or yeah, I don't think 20 deck boxes is going to be enough. I think I need to go back to that well and get what, 20 more? Do I get 20 more? Is there going to be 40 new legendary creatures between the commander decks and the, you know, it's very possible. It is. So Chat got awful quiet, y'all. So I don't know. I've got plenty of sleeves for it, but the deck box thing is still kind of challenging because that particular deck box, I know Ultra Pro took some time off making them for other needs, which is commendable, but Steven Universes Beyond. I don't. Now, I'm familiar with Universes Beyond, but Steven Universe? You got me. I don't. Explain to me what that is. But, so, I guess we can do, probably that's what I've got. What do y'all think? Any new questions or anything that anybody's got? Here in chat, you have a mechanic built into the lore with characters fusing together. That's pretty neat. I like that. I think my Universes Beyond picked. That light is killer. I need to do something about that lighting. Can I put it over here where it doesn't? No, that light's going to be with me wherever I go. My Universes Beyond pick, well, like The Hobbit and Game of Thrones is just so obvious, because those are fantasy worlds. Those are obvious. Yes, they're probably going to do them. Yes, they'll be cool. Halflings? We've already got wizards and dragons and kings and queens and whatnot. So, yeah, those will be cool and all, but I don't branch out enough into the. They could pick like popular fandoms. I don't know. It seemed like they almost passed the optimal time for The Walking Dead. Well, if they release Game of Thrones tomorrow, they've passed the optimal time. But the D&D thing, I like that. The Saturday morning cartoon D&D Secret Lair was just. I'm going to have a hard time not pulling the trigger on that one. Because I'll get one copy. It'll go straight into the Tiamat deck, which Tiamat I have already started building. It's not really building, but as I come across 5-color dragon cards, I'll just throw it in that box, right? I mean, technically there's a box. It's got its name on it, and there's like 4 cards in it. So I guess I'm starting to build it, but not really. It's got a command tower in it, so... But that's what I have got for today. I do appreciate y'all tuning in and hanging out with me. So, especially since I really thought I had one uploaded to come to y'all this morning at 4, but I did not. So, actually, a good friend of the channel, Chris, he texted me this morning. He's like, "No video this morning?" And I was like, "Oh, Stu." I thought I did. I haven't come in here with the intention of, we didn't upload. What did I do wrong? I didn't upload anything. Eventful day yesterday. MTG goblins are the best, but they are the least sexy fantasy creatures. Yes, the goblins are like the acceptable level of Beeble. Beebles, they started off in black border, but they moved to silver border because the powers that be at the time thought they were too funny. So that's the same way as squirrels. So we got squirrels back. That's because we had, the head of R&D pushing for squirrels. I love squirrels. My phone background is still like squirrel. So, but Goblins, yes, the humor of the goblins, ready, fire, aim. I mean, the goblin flavor text. If you're not reading the goblin flavor text, you're missing some of the greatest comedic one-liners that there is. I love it. Step 1, find a cousin. Yes, a squirrel that can't die. I love it. Oh, I have been, full confession here, just an outside of MTG thing, but kind of not really. For the past several months, I've been feeding the neighborhood squirrels. Now, the squirrels on my road here they're legendary for the fact that they are just very, there's some gangsta squirrels. That's all I know how to call them. They are hardcore squirrels. And I've been, to me and my girlfriend, we've been putting out walnuts, peanuts, whatever we've got. Now here I am looking for bulk peanut. You know, I want to buy a 50-pound bag of peanuts. I'm insane. But you know what? I got a ton of squirrels in the yard. We did it so much because here's my thought. I wanted to see if I could train a squirrel. So I put it was either a walnut or a peanut, whatever, in the same spot on the front porch every single morning. And I did this for a couple of months. Well, I slept in one day. So we're sitting there in the living room and we hear a scratching at the door. This dang squirrel came to the porch. There was no nut. And he knocked on the door. And when she opened the door up, he's just standing there looking at her like, it's breakfast. Yeah. Gremlins will ever get a legendary creature. You know, I don't know. But I would buy that secret lair. We were talking about Universes Beyond earlier. Think about it. You've got Gizmo, you've got Spike. You could do 4 or 5 of the named gremlins. Yeah. Yeah. Something about water is bad, so they protection from. No, they're not protection from blue. Probably dealt double damage by blue. I don't know how that would work, but the big thing that I have a problem with is the big creature types that don't have a legend. Phoenix. By sheer definition, a phoenix is a creature of legend. I mean, there aren't that many in any universe you go to. Phoenixes are just super legendary, super rare, whatever. And yet there's not a single legendary phoenix. Wow. Now that we do actually have Phyrexians being a creature type, I agree with you, Smash. Phyrexian Tribal is going to be really, and of course, you know, shielded with swamps is good. So, hey, Ren, we just got finished. What are we doing? We just got finished with a deck tech, and now we are just hanging out, chilling, asking questions. Yes, Phyrexia is one of the scariest, probably the scariest bad guy in any universe for me was, what was that? Next Gen came out in August of 87. So that would have been season 3. We saw the Borg. So 1990, I was introduced to the Borg, as was the rest of the world. And the idea that there was no individuality and no single thought in the hive mind concept, I had never I couldn't grok that for a while, but it does kind of feel like that MTG, the Slivers is obviously the Borg version in Magic, but the Phyrexian, the process of completion, and it's just, that's a crazy concept, and it is kind of scary, because I read in the books exactly what they did to Crovax, and that was, yeah, that was a thing. What we're in the deck tech is YouTube keeps these up for a little while, don't they? Should, maybe. Phyrexian Eldrazi. See, Phyrexian Eldrazi, wouldn't that be like the ultimate goal of Phyrexia, to complete an Eldrazi? Not just any Eldrazi, a Titan. Well, I guess there's only one Titan left, though. And she's smart enough to be like, peace out. So we're going back to New Phyrexia, Mirrodin, whatever, for the Return of the Jedi moment. And because that storyline was set up in Dominara. Karn came, he got the Silex, because that's what Urza used to defeat the Phyrexians on Dominara, and it worked. So he's got it. It's in his chest. And he walked back to home. So now with their storytelling and the way the sets come out, the time narrative is, we had 2 sets. One was released, and then the next one was released, but they were happening simultaneously. So it could be, the story could pick up with Karn just getting there after he left Dominaria, and all these sets that we've had since then haven't happened yet, or are currently. Time is a construct from R&D. Yes, there could be any number of other Mirrodins, although I don't know, because Mirrodin, as I remember, Mirrodin was created from the Mirari, of which there was only one by Karn, but since Karn had the Phyrexian oil in him, it was tainted from the get-go. He was going to go gallivant the multiverse, and he put Memnarch in charge, and Memnarch just wanted to go be with the creator, being Karn, and Memnarch transformed Mirrodin into, why do I know it's weird stuff, all of Mirrodin into a spark transfer machine, that he was going to steal the spark from Glissa, and bad stuff happened. It slow bad. It was weird. Anyway, but yeah, it could. Do you ever find you would ever do a deck tech for Kataki Wars? I will, because the reason why I say that is the end goal here for, I guess I haven't said it in quite a while. The end goal is I'm building a deck of every single legendary creature. Now, I started down this goal. There was 700-ish. And since then, Wizards, because I've been doing this now for about almost 5 years, Wizards has put the pedal to the metal, realizing that Commander is a format people like. So for the past 2 years, we've been drinking from the fire hose as far as number of legends. Used to, number of legends, it might be 1 or 5 or 2, just people who were integral to the storyline at that point, or maybe they were trying to be like, hey, there's one in each color, or if it was, but no. They are, yeah. Drinking from the fire hose is the best way to put it. Which I'm happy with, but it's hard for me to make ground up on those old legends like Kataki that I haven't built yet, because I've still got each set brings us 20, 30, 40 not counting Commander Legends. That was insane. New legends to build. So that's why I've started doing daily videos, daily content, most of which are deck techs, because I sat down and did the math, and I was like, at the current rate there, I will be 411 years old when so hence the daily. Nissa is the greatest thief in the multiverse. She stole Chandra's heart. She also is she the only mono green walker to go green black? No, Garrett did it first. Simpsons did it first. But I love the Nissa character. Love her. It's a great character. Will you ever reuse a partner commander if it meshes with a newer partner? No. Simply put, because once I use a partner, I cross them off the list. The list is a Excel spreadsheet, and as I build the deck, I highlight it in green, and it's done. Because where do I draw that line? There are over like 1,500 possible partner combinations, and no. First off, nobody. I get asked that a lot. Are you doing all the partner combinations? Nobody wants me to do that. Nobody does. I don't want to do it. The Magic playing populace does not want me to do that, because if I have to purchase that many copies, X to the X power of each of the partners, the first set of partners, there won't be any left. So, no, I use them once, cross them off the list, and go on my merry way. But I do kind of like that deck crosses off 2. So I get that benefit. So, Commander Legends had 70-something legends, but that's not going to translate to 70-something decks because a bunch of them are partners. Now, I keep looking up there because I have a stack of partners yet that are still have yet to pair up. Want to build decks with commanders for every Smash fighter with altars. Not my game. I don't. That was not a video game that I was. Now, my kids love that game. I watched them play it a couple times. I got one kid, Emmy. She used Peach just so she could beat up people with Peach because it looked funny. Garth, yes, I have Garth. Garth One Eye has a few lands in it so far, so I haven't gotten too deep on Garth yet. What I want to do with Garth is, because you've got 2 goals. One, you got to break that tap ability, right? But number 1, it's a tap ability, so you can only do it once per turn cycle. And number 2, once you've gone through the rotation, you've got to bounce it back to your hand and recast it to go through the rotation cycle again. So I get so deep down that rabbit hole that here I am. I'm like, okay, I want fervor and mass hysteria, and because I want to give it haste, because the turn Garth comes into play, I want to tap to produce an effect of some sort. Me personally, I like the Brain Geyser effect more than the Black Lotus effect, because he's one of each color. By the time you've got that to cast him and you've waited a turn cycle, you don't need the dang Lotus. But anyway, I like the Brain Geyser, because who doesn't want to draw X cards? But although I guess the Lotus does help with that, whatevs. But then you want like flicker effects to take it out, put it back in. It's a new permanent. Nothing's been chosen, so you can do it again. But I keep mentally devoting so many cards to making that happen. It takes up most of the deck, and I have no way to win. I'm just I'm doing things. I'm doing the tap thing, and I mean, I guess I could. I mean, there's literally infinite ways you could go with 5 colors. So I've just got to decide what I want to do with it, how I want to, end the game. Because I could get tied up, and we're going to do all these things and cast all these things all the time. But that doesn't really equate to winning the game at all. So, winning the game is secondary. Honestly, I think about Esper does fit Dakin's personality pretty well. Red Hot Chili Peppers partner pile. Sometimes I feel like I don't have a partner. Here they are. Oh, it's not that one. That's not a partner. I forgot how many of these I actually got etched. Boy, those etches were easy to come by. Commander Legends, wasn't it? I think that was a wet their mouth, get them addicted to etches, and then to make them ridiculously hard to get. With all the I had thought about that with all of the original White Border cards, barring of course the Lotus's banned. But I was like, well, I really want to put the Disenchant and the Brain Geyser and I was like, wait a minute, no, I don't. Those are dead cards. I've got that on my commander. If I had a Brain Geyser, I'd probably still run it because I like Brain Geyser. Who doesn't like to draw X cards, right? Devote too much deck space to using Garth and lose sight of the win con. Yeah, maybe somebody else has got a win con. But like I said, it's 5 colors. I mean, you could almost, because I feel like we're going to need some artifact help to get to the 5 color point. You're already running probably the Arcane Signet, the Commander Sphere, stuff like that. Maybe there's an artifact synergy in there to where you can make enough Black Lotuses and use like that Tezzeret to turn them into 5/5s and like literally physically kill people with Lotuses. Oh, that seems cool. The copied permanents interplay as tokens. So you're in 5 colors. So if you did like anointed processions and doubling seasons, would you get multiple? Like when you tapped Garth, it's a good question. If you tap Garth to cast a Black Lotus spell, you put it on the stack, the copied spell becomes a token. Would you get 2 tokens? Or multiples, would you get 4? Because that may be a way to go, because nothing would be cooler than just, literally killing people with attacking 5/5 Black Lotuses. Happy Canada Day. Hey, Lee. Glad to see you. A win con for guard, mana rocks, as a concept or dramatic reversal. Yeah, that'll do it. Final Fantasy Universes Beyond. See, I've never played those games, read the books, watched them, but nothing with Final Fantasy. We don't. My video game experience is very, very selected. Now, obviously, I'm an old guy, so in the 80s, I played arcades and, I had an Atari 2600, the original Nintendo when I was in high school. So, but if they ever do a dang Minecraft Universes Beyond or even just a reskin, oh, yeah. Yeah. I'd have to, I mean, think about it. The diamond sword. Yeah, 2600. My mother was the Miss Pac-Man queen. Ooh. Anyway, I've been on here about 45 minutes. I know everybody's probably ready to get to something else. But I'm ready to get to these other decks. Here's a sneak peek. Do you want a sneak peek for tomorrow's video? Piru the Volatile. So a true Elder Dragon legend. We get one Elder Dragon legend that was... I'm sure there's a reason that there was only one. They probably didn't want a whole cycle because it took up too many mythic slots, maybe. I don't know. But that's where we're at. I do appreciate everybody watching, hanging out with me. Yeah, I didn't intend for this to be this long, but hope you enjoyed the deck. Vampires, right now, I think we're going to get off here and I'll probably, probably get something to eat and then continue recording the next video so y'all can see Piru tomorrow and Kells and... Oh, no, Kells is not MH2. Kells is Jumpstart. Yeah, I still have all the Jumpstart legends because they're, you know, Willy Wonka golden tickets. Anyway. Thank you so much, NL guy. I will talk to y'all later, but right now, I think we're going to go ahead and shuffle and cut.